Did you know that many older people don't realize just how much their clutter is slowly stealing their energy and space? It often doesn't happen all at once. It builds up bit by bit. A drawer here, a closet there, an attic that hasn't been touched in years. Before you know it, you're walking around your own home like it's a maze. You're not alone if you felt overwhelmed by the idea of clearing it out. Many people after 60 feel stuck between not knowing where to start and not wanting to let go. But what if I told you that it doesn't have to take months or even weeks to reclaim your space? That there are simple, proven tricks that older adults have used to clear out years' worth of clutter in just 3 days? And more than that, what if those small wins gave you back your freedom, your pride, and even made room for peace? This video is for anyone who has ever looked at a room and said, I just don't know where to begin. We're going to walk through 5 fast decluttering habits that work, especially for those of us who have lived a long time, gathered memories, and maybe held on a little longer than we needed to. You won't hear judgment here, only encouragement in the kind of guidance that can help you take back your home and your life with less effort than you might think. Let's begin. Trick 1, the one-table rule. One of the biggest hurdles to decluttering is decision fatigue. When you look at an entire room, or worse, a whole house filled with years of memories, it feels impossible to even start. That's why the first trick is something I call the one-table rule. It's exactly what it sounds like. You don't try to clean the whole house. You don't even try to tackle a room. You start with one single table. Clear off just one surface. A coffee table, a kitchen counter, a bedside table. That's it. Remove everything from it, wipe it down, and only put back what truly serves you. Either because it's useful every day or it brings you real joy. This trick works for one powerful reason: momentum. When your mind sees a small, finished space, clean, open, breathable, it creates a sense of victory, a spark of motivation. And that spark is what keeps the fire going. Most people fail to declutter not because they're lazy or messy. It's because they try to bite off too much and burn out before they even make progress. This rule prevents that entirely. And here's something deeper, especially for us older folks. That table might be holding more than dust. It might be holding guilt, or memories that never got processed. A postcard from someone who's no longer around. A bill you never paid, but somehow just left there. The act of cleaning off a table can become the act of letting go. And at our age, letting go isn't about giving up. It's about making space for what still matters. I once helped a man named Howard, 82 years old, widowed, a Navy veteran, start with nothing but the end of his dining table. It had been buried under books and unopened mail for years. We took everything off. He only put back a lamp and a photo of his wife. When he sat back down and saw that space clear, his eyes welled up. I can breathe again, he said. That's the power of the one-table rule. You don't need a dumpster. You don't need to turn your house upside down. You just need one table and the willingness to begin. Trick 2, the 10-item toss game. Once you've cleared a single table and felt that first wave of relief, the next hurdle is figuring out what stays and what goes. That's where most people freeze. The reason: every item seems to come with a story. My son gave me this. I used to wear that when I worked. I might need it someday. So we hold on, and we keep holding on, until the house feels like a museum of maybe later. But there's a trick to get past that mental block. And it's something both simple and surprisingly fun, the 10-item toss game. Here's how it works. Set a timer for 10 minutes. In that time, you must pick 10 things, any 10, and toss them. That's it. They can be old receipts, expired coupons, broken pens, a shirt you haven't worn in 5 years. Don't think too hard. Don't analyze. Just move. 10 items. 10 minutes. Done. It sounds almost silly, but the psychology behind it is powerful. Your brain starts to rewire how it views clutter. Instead of attaching emotion or obligation to each item, you begin to see them as simple choices. And when you finish, you feel a mini win. That win matters. It gives you control back. It breaks the pattern of avoidance. One woman I spoke with, named Carol, she's 76 and used to be a school librarian, told me the 10-item toss game changed everything for her. At first I was terrified, she said. I thought I was going to throw away something important. But then I started with 10 old instruction manuals. I hadn't used a DVD player in years. The next day I did it again with socks. 3 days in, she donated 5 bags of clothes and said her home finally felt like hers again. And you know what? You can even make it a habit. Once a day after breakfast or before bed. 10 things. 10 minutes. That's it. Over the course of a month, that's 300 items gone. In 3 months, nearly 1,000. Without ever once overwhelming yourself. It also builds something even more important, your sense of agency. At this stage in life, many seniors start to feel like their world is shrinking. Their control over things, health, family dynamics, even their homes feels like it's slipping away. But every toss is a choice. Every small purge is a reminder, this is still your space. This is still your life. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Trick 3, the clear the path method. When people think about decluttering, they often imagine emptying out drawers, cleaning closets, or sorting through piles of paper. But if you're over 60 and living in the same home you've been in for decades, those projects can feel like too much, too fast. That's why this next method isn't about cleaning everything. It's about reclaiming movement. The clear the path method is just what it sounds. Like creating clean, open walkways in your most used areas, not the attic, not the guest room, just the spots you walk through every day. The hallway from the bedroom to the bathroom, the stretch between your recliner and the kitchen, the path from the front door to the mail basket. You don't even need a vacuum or a dust rag for this. Just look around and remove what blocks movement. An old laundry basket sitting in the hall? Gone. A pile of magazines on the floor? Out. A side table that always bumps your hip as you pass by? Moved or donated. That's it. Why is this so powerful? Because clutter isn't just visual, it's physical stress. Having to step over things or slide sideways around furniture takes a toll. It affects your joints, your balance, even your mood. Studies have shown that seniors who declutter their walkways experience fewer trips and falls. But it's not just about avoiding accidents. It's about peace. Walking through your home without stepping over bags or kicking aside shoes gives you a feeling of ease, of dignity. I remember visiting a man named Harold, 82, lived alone, proud Korean War vet. He had a beautiful home but narrow little trails between stacks of stuff. He didn't need to throw everything out. He just needed his freedom of motion back. Once we cleared the paths, he looked at me and said, "It's the first time I've walked without worry in 15 years. That moment stuck with me. Because when you're older, walking through your own house shouldn't feel like navigating a maze. It should feel like breathing. And here's the trick to make this work even faster. Do it barefoot. When you're barefoot, you notice every little thing you might trip on, every cold draft, every corner of a rug that curls up. You become more connected to your space, more aware. It turns a simple activity into something almost meditative, and that awareness helps you maintain the space you just opened up. The clear the path method is not about getting rid of memories or emptying your home. It's about removing what slows you down and restoring what lets you move forward, literally. Trick 4, the 5-minute fill-up. One of the most common traps people fall into after 60 is thinking, I'll get to that later, but later rarely comes. And every time you walk past that same stack of papers or unopened box, it drains your energy just a little more. You start avoiding that room, that drawer, that thought. So this trick isn't about cleaning, it's about building motion. The kind that doesn't feel like a burden. The 5-minute fill-up works like this. You pick any small container, a basket, a tote, even a shoebox, and give yourself just 5 minutes to fill it with anything you know you don't want or need anymore. Not to sort, not to organize, just to remove. It might be expired pantry items, old cords, clothes that never leave the hanger, or duplicate kitchen tools. The key is the timer. You set it. 5 minutes is short enough that it never feels like a chore. And because the container is small, you're not overwhelmed. Yet do this once or twice a day and suddenly a dozen little burdens disappear without effort. But here's the part that makes this truly work for seniors. Instead of labeling it decluttering, think of it as breathing room. Each item you release gives you more space, not just physically, but mentally. And when you can start your day knowing you've lightened your load, even a little, it shifts your mindset. You feel more in control, more peaceful, more ready for the next moment. There's a man I knew in his 70s named Walter. He was overwhelmed by a garage full of things he hadn't touched since his kids were in high school. The idea of tackling it made him anxious. But when he started using the 5-minute fill-up, he didn't even touch the garage at first. He started with the junk drawer in the kitchen, then the laundry shelf. A week later, he walked into the garage and said, I think I'm ready now. That's what this method does. It teaches you to trust yourself again, to act without fear of the whole mountain. You don't need a big plan. You just need 5 minutes and a small box. And a final tip, don't look back in the box after you fill it. Don't second guess. Close it, donate it, recycle it, or toss it. The moment of decision is the moment of strength. Don't dilute it by overthinking. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Trick 5, the one decision rule. What slows most older people down when they try to declutter isn't the physical part. It's the decision fatigue. Should I keep this? What if I need it someday? What if my kids want it? What if it's valuable? By the time you've debated the first 10 things, your energy's gone and nothing's changed. The one decision rule is designed to stop that spiral. Here's how it works. Instead of asking a dozen questions about an item, you make just one decision ahead of time, a rule for yourself. And then you follow that rule for every item in a category. No extra thinking, no back and forth. Let me give you some examples. One older woman I know, Patricia, made a rule. If I haven't used it in a year and it doesn't make me smile, it goes. Simple. Or my friend George, who said, if it's got dust and I forgot I owned it, it leaves the house today. Another made a clothing rule. If it doesn't fit or it's not something I'd wear to lunch tomorrow, it's gone. When you make one rule like that, it removes the emotion and the guilt. You stop negotiating with yourself. You just follow through. That's the power. And it turns out most of the things we cling to after 60 aren't really needed. They're reminders, placeholders, or even burdens. Once you start freeing yourself from those, you breathe easier in your own home. Think of it this way. Your home is not a storage unit. It's your sanctuary. If something doesn't serve your peace, your comfort, or your purpose anymore, why is it still there? People often ask me, but what about sentimental items? That's fair. In those cases, make one separate rule. I can keep only one box of memories per person or per decade. That gives you boundaries, but still honors your life. One older couple I met had lived in the same house for 50 years. Their attic was full of boxes labeled someday. When they used the one decision rule, they didn't just clean it out. They found old love letters, forgotten photographs, and even a letter from a friend who had passed away decades ago. They cried, they laughed, and they let go. That's what decluttering after 60 is really about. It's not just about space. It's about clarity. It's about allowing room for the life you're living now, not just the one you used to live. And when you stop making 100 decisions and trust just one clear rule, you gain not just order, but peace. Final thoughts. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you looked around your home, not with guilt or overwhelm, but with a sense of peace? If you're like most people in their 60s, 70s, or even 80s, you've collected a lifetime's worth of memories, tools, books, gifts, and just-in-case items. And over time, those things begin to collect you instead. But here's the beautiful truth. It's never too late to reclaim your space or your sense of clarity. You don't need to rush or be perfect. You don't even need to do it all alone. All you need is a simple shift in approach. One clear zone, one basket, one honest rule, one small decision at a time. That's how a 3-day transformation starts. Not in the garage, but in the heart. And remember, this isn't about impressing anyone or living in a magazine-worthy home. It's about waking up and walking into a space that feels like you. A space where you breathe easier, think clearer, and enjoy the time you still have left. Fully present, not buried under stuff. You've earned that peace. You deserve a home that reflects who you are now, not who you were 30 years ago. And if any part of this video helped you believe that again, even just a little, then this time we spent together was worth it. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.